You're tuned in to the 3 Pixels podcast. This episode is sponsored by G2A UK. Click the link in the show notes to find out how you can save money on more than 60,000 gaming products. Things like PC games, Steam games, prepaid cards, skins, and a whole lot more.
Hello and welcome back to the 3 Pixels podcast. I'm your host Martin and I've got Ben with me today.
Hello, hello.
It's good to hear you, Ben. I hope you're well.
All is well here.
Well, I've brought you here to the Games Corner yet again, and today we'll be talking about 2 items of news, and the first we'll be talking about The Last of Us. But the first, a bit of context about them. On June 14th, 2013, they released one of arguably the biggest games that they've ever developed in The Last of Us. And if you've been living under a rock, you would know that Part 2 has been announced for release on June 19th. However, there has been a situation involving a leak. But before we get fully into that, let's get into what they've done over the years and how we remember them.
Arguably one of my favourite developers, Naughty Dog, I would consider to be almost like the Pixar of the gaming world. They have created some amazing titles, and I can't think of any game that they've made that hasn't done very well. Of course, the biggest series for them being the Uncharted series, 4 games in that series, over 2 consoles, and the classics, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, personal favourites and fan favourites as well.
As we know, they have a certain kind of pedigree in the games industry. And Naughty Dog, high expectations always with their games, and it does seem like they mostly deliver and always on point with their games and trying to push the boundaries of their creativity. However, like I just said, there has been a leak involving The Last of Us Part 2. At first, it was suggested that a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee was behind the leak, but these rumours have now been dismissed and squashed.
Sony identified the people behind the leak, confirmed they're not affiliated with Naughty Dog in any way, but are staying hush onto whom it is. So there are many rumours going around there about who could have done it. One of the biggest claims running right now from Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. He's talking about 2 people with direct knowledge of The Last of Us 2 who he's been in contact with, along with some Naughty Dog employees, that they have a good idea of what happened. Short version is, hackers found a security vulnerability in a patch on an older Naughty Dog game and used that to get into Naughty Dog servers and get all the information they needed from there. That is just speculation, not confirmed. If this is the case, Martin, what do we think about this?
Well, we need to sort of assess the damage that they've done. They've obviously released some screenshots and some test video and spoiled major plot lines involving this game. Now, I've been pretty good at actually distancing myself to the extent where actually you were the one who said, Martin, you need to talk about this. So again, I thank you, Ben. And I think this will harm Naughty Dog in a way. It's very hard for any audience member now to sort of get involved with this storyline because now you already know the answers. That's part of the journey, not knowing where the twists and turns are going to take place. And now that some, if not all, we don't know yet, of the major plot points have been revealed, it's going to be quite hard to sort of engage yourself when you know what's going to be coming up.
Some people do like to know what's happening in the story before they get to it. They like to know what's coming ahead. However, I'm not one of those people, so I'm definitely going to be avoiding any spoilers, and I'd like to enjoy the game as it was intended. I don't want to know what the ending is before I've reached there, so I will be avoiding it. But really, the bigger thing in all this, I think, personally, is I'm sure Sony were really hoping that it was going to be a disgruntled employee because that's less of an issue. Whereas a hacker security vulnerability issue, then how Sony deal with this next will be really key, especially considering the issues that Sony have had with security leaks in the past from Sony's pictures, Sony's movie division, and also from the PlayStation Network as well. So this will be a key issue that Sony needs to hit head on and deal with sooner rather than later.
If it was someone internally, you can deal with that, but if this is going to be an outside source, more problems are going to come up. How many more people are going to hack into this game? How much more is going to be released? How much more plot is going to be revealed? And are we going to have much of a game to look forward to after all this? It is quite worrying times, and the article all came out. It has sort of settled the...
No, June 19th. Do you think that they're going to make any adaptations to the game's story? I guess it's too late to do that, but Do you think they would try and adapt it in any way to keep some sort of surprise?
I would say absolutely not, and that's purely because time restraints. We've seen rush games before, not in this sort of degree, but in terms of where companies have said to these developers, you need to get these games out quicker and quicker and quicker, and they just lose their lust. Look at Star Wars Battlefront 2, which came out a few years ago. That took ages for it to regain any sort of credibility back.
Mm-hmm.
And if The Last of Us Part 2 would come out with this rushed finish, or these strange plot lines that just twist out of nowhere and just catch you completely off guard, it's going to dampen them. I think, realistically, you're just going to keep going full speed ahead. Only a month away from release, it's just not enough time.
No, you're right. I'm putting it out there for a conversation, just to see what you think. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a little too late down the line. I don't think a company like Naughty Dog would risk that. I think they'd rather take the line of, if you are a true fan and you want it to be a surprise, it will be a surprise for you. If you were just wanting to, put spoilers out there and ruin it for everyone, then that's what those people would do. So yeah, I think that's probably the way they're going to see it, is that, if you want to enjoy it properly, then that's what you will do. I mean, spoilers have come out, in the media industry on many occasions, on big games and big movie releases. I mean, Marvel has had a few of those in the past as well. So, it's not the first time that people have to avoid information if they want to save themselves to enjoy the media as they're going through it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that.
Alright, so listen up. If you're anything like me, then you love playing the latest video games. If you're a lot like me, you love getting a great deal on those video games. Well, G2A is the place to go. They're the largest gaming marketplace in the world. They have over 60,000 products, including PC games, Steam games, prepaid cards or consoles, skins, consumer electronics, PCs, mice, keyboard, merchandise, a whole bunch of stuff. It's crazy. The platform is known for having great discounts and all that stuff, and that's why we welcome them with open arms to be a sponsor of this episode of the podcast. So, if you're interested in anything I've just said, I would highly recommend you go and click the link in the show notes to check out g2a.com. Happy gaming!
So, moving away from Naughty Dog and their leaks, we're going to be talking about the NHS staff here in England, and they've been given free access to video games to say thank you for their hard work during the coronavirus. Now, I want to make this very brief, and I also just want to say a huge thank you to people like Konami, EA, Xbox and Sega, and even independent studios out there are being a part of this great feeling towards NHS workers who are going to be feeling strain, stress over this hard time that we're going through, and them just getting maybe relax in these downtimes, especially with people with young families out there. You can really bond together over video games. That's happened before, and it will continue to happen later down the line. And especially with NHS workers with children, they can actually play games that they want to play with, and not obviously have that family time that it has been hard to get by these days.
Yeah, video games are a great escape from reality, and there's, a lot of troubling things in reality right now. It's not a happy time for many people, especially people in the front line. So having that escape, having 85,000 games available to download is amazing. And also, it's really great because it keeps in the message that the government's trying to get across at the same time, which is stay at home, save lives. So by keeping people at home playing video games, they're not likely to be tempted to go out and do other things. It's really the opposite of what your parents tell you. It's don't go out and play in the park, stay in and play video games. So it's funny that it's turned into the opposite right now. So kids, play video games, don't go out.
And yet save lives, absolutely. And just a nice little fact here that I've been looking up. The two most popular games are obviously Fortnite and FIFA, and that's obvious. I mean, football, without any football around, people has to get their fix of football somewhere. And Fortnite's been around for a couple of years now, and we've covered on this show before how popular Fortnite has become.
And some games have become really popular over the time. As we've been saying, Animal Crossing has blown up and everyone's talking about it right now, which is the big game. Obviously not free, and it's been fun seeing videos of people young and old giving it a go and playing along with Animal Crossing. So that's awesome. So yeah, even though it's just a virtual world, you're just exploring and doing something fun, it just really does make a difference to give yourself that little place that's where there's no global pandemic, where there's nothing bad going on, depending on the type of game you're playing, I guess. But it's an escape. Everything's okay. You're in a moment of peace, in a moment of your own world where you can do anything, where anything can be possible, and that's really cool.
Yes, and that's also people who are going to be affected from it here, people who are lonely as well, and especially NHS workers. Not everyone does have a family to go back to. Once you've gone to work, you've seen people die, you've seen people like on the verge of dying, and just full illness, to go home, you've got no one around, just quite depressing. And games like Animal Crossing is definitely a game which you can submerge yourself in, just feel good and very lighthearted afterwards. It's about staying safe and making sure everyone is okay, and if video games can bring that ray of sunshine to someone's life, then all the best. And again, once again, I must thank these companies doing this for the NHS.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. 63 publishers, 85,000 games. Who would have thought it? People generally consider, especially publishers, to be money hungry and to only be looking after themselves. But it's nice to see that in this situation that people have been proved wrong, and amazing things have been achieved.
Absolutely. However, we must say goodbye on this episode. It's been a nice little topic to talk about, just trying to keep you guys updated in the gaming world right now. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Ben.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for listening. And once again, thank you to all people on the front lines here in the UK and America and across the world. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
You're tuned in to the 3 Pixels podcast.